great to be able to speak to you for this film, Madison, because I had such a fun time with it.
Oh, so
And Sienna, I think, is a really interesting character because she's obviously living with the burden of this huge destiny that she's been told so much about. So, what about that arc did you really find interesting to explore coming into a movie like this one?
it's interesting because there's always the added pressure of jumping into a character that's been loved by so many people for, I think it's 30 years now. She's been around a while. And also we're doing something completely fresh and new, right? We're staying truthful to what was created so long ago in the original anime and manga. But the trick of a live action is, you want to bring something new to it. So I think, the parallels for me is Sienna's very much going through this sort of like imposter syndrome of dealing with these cards that she's been dealt with in life. And I always sort of find parallels between myself and characters that I choose to play. And sort of at the same time, I'm like, this is a big ask, it's a very loved, again, is IP the right word, or just, just the anime in general and the name of Saint Seiya. And you want to be able to do the best job that you can for the fans, and because it's really for them. If it wasn't for them, we wouldn't be doing this in the first place. So yeah, I mean, it was sort of just tapping into that and myself, I think, that really took me there.
Oh, amazing. And I'm not going to get into any spoilers, but we have seen in the trailers, obviously, some shots of you suited up. So I was wondering if maybe you could talk a little bit about what that transformation entailed for you. Very
uh,
cool. That.
Yes, it's very cool. They did such a great job. I mean, from hair and makeup, costuming, and it was a lot of collaboration and conversation about exactly what we wanted to do. Because, like I said before, we wanted to do something fresh and new, and we wanted to pull from what was in the anime, but also bring in fresh ideas and like sort of tapping into more of the Greek mythology behind these characters. And like even down to Athena has this like bronze chest piece, and there's like the symbol of the owl that our costuming decided to throw in there, which is the symbol of Athena. All these tiny small details come to play throughout the whole thing. And then the hair was like a huge conversation. It's, do you want to stick to the manga where she's sort of has this like golden brown hair, or do you go full anime? Do you do the purple hair? It was, everything was discussed, especially with appearance of exactly what we wanted to do. But I remember when I tried on the wig for the first time, one of our producers, Yoshi, got emotional, and he's been a part of Saint Seiya for years. So after that, I was like, okay, I think that's the direction we need to go in. And it was sort of just following your gut instinct and sort of what felt right on the day. And we did. We jumped into all of this thinking with the fans in mind, and we want to give them the best live action that they could possibly ask for.
Yeah, well, I think it all came together great. And of course, in order to bring this world to life, it does require a lot of visual effects. And I was really, really impressed by those, particularly during some of the fight sequences, for example. But for you, obviously, working on the movie, did that take a lot of getting used to? Obviously, what that side of things requires as an actor.
Yeah, I always think those things are fun. I always enjoy, like when nothing's there and you just have to play pretend. And I've always liked concepts that are just sort of bigger than me. I think it's fun to tap into that imaginary side, and I love fantasy, and you just kind of get to play on set, and you get to find boundaries of like what's too much. And you really, at the end of the day, you have to trust your director, your producers, because all we see is a green screen, and we're in tracking suits, and we're giving battle cries, and it's just kind of silly when you're there on the day. But they have the full picture in their mind of what they want. And so I don't know, it's just sort of like actor candy. It's actor playtime. It's fun. It gets challenging at times just because sometimes you just don't know what you're doing. But all you can do is trust the source material and trust your director. And I think everything turned out really great.
Yeah, for sure. And then, of course, on the other hand, to the action, there's this really sweet relationship that develops between your character and Mackenyu's character. So, in terms of finding that chemistry and the dynamic between Sienna and his character, what did that process look like for the two of you?
It was pretty easy. I feel like, I'm pretty easy to work with. I would like to think so. And Mackenyu, he's so sweet. He's so great and just so talented. And it's just always fun. Chemistry is something I've always just taken very seriously. I think it helps shape a movie. And I knew, And it's interesting too, because these two characters, they start sort of in the same place where they're both stubborn. They both don't want to accept the cards that they've been dealt. They kind of hate each other. But then sort of through that, they find this bond where they know they're in similar positions and sort of come together in the end. But I mean, it's easy when you work with easy people, and you sort of, the scenes just kind of take you there. And we just, I don't know, we just try to have fun on the day and actually be friends on and off set. And then I think sometimes that's all you need to show it on screen.
Yeah, and of course, I think the same could be said, obviously, with your scenes with Sean Bean and Famke Janssen. You know, two legends there, really. And obviously, for you, I'm guessing it must have been a real pleasure to work with them. And what did you maybe find beneficial about getting to share the screen, and some really, again, don't get into spoilers, but some really interesting moments with both of them?
Oh, it was such a treat. I always love,
Yeah.
I love working with actors that make you a better actor, you know, like it's just always, it's such a treat. And I think Sean Bean could literally read the dictionary and you would just buy everything that he says. He's so incredible. um I mean, it's just like, those are some of my favorite scenes, I think, between the two of us, because I think they really ground the movie as well and sort of show just like a deeper side of these characters in this crazy world. And then Famke, I mean, she's so brilliant. That was actually one of the first scenes I think I filmed, was the two of us together. Which, you know, it's always hard starting from the end and going backwards, but they're both just, I mean, they're so incredible. I feel like sometimes you just end up being on the other side of the camera and just watching them and just getting lost in their eyes, and they're so great.
Oh, amazing. And, you know, Sienna, she is, again, like I said, such an interesting character. And she's surrounded, obviously, she's protected, she's guarded because she's got this destiny that she's facing, but she's also not a damsel in distress, something we see as the film progresses. So was that a big draw for you, that you could come in and play this really powerful and uplifting, obviously, female character?
Yeah, that, and that was a big conversation I think we've had from the beginning. Because it is a live action remake, and I think the trick about doing a live action remake is you want to stay truthful to what has been done in the past, but you also want to bring a new light to it. So, you know, we didn't, it's 2023. Like, you know, we want to see women doing incredible things. And so that was really important for me, is, you know, she doesn't, I don't want her to feel helpless. Like, I mean, obviously she has these knights surrounding her and everything she needs, but I want the audience to believe that, like, she can do this on her own, you know, and where that strength comes from. And I just think it's an important message. And so that was a big conversation from the beginning, is we didn't want Sienna to come off as weak. And I mean, and also in the end, you want to be able to believe her as the goddess of warfare, you know, because she could kill everyone if she wanted to, let's be honest.
And, you know, talking about, obviously, the goddess, so when you did get to do those scenes as Athena, that must have been quite, I imagine, quite empowering, because obviously then you're going from playing Sienna, who's obviously learning as she goes, to being this all-powerful being. So that must have been a fun dynamic for you to play within yourself too.
Oh, it was so much fun. And also, like, all of, like, the rig they created, and like this beautiful long gown. And I've always been a very physical actor. I love, it's, for me, the moment clicks, you know, when I've got on my full hair and makeup, I've got the costume on, it's, and like my surround, even though we were surrounded by green screens, but, you know, just even just like the rig I was on that was like lifting me into the air, it just sort of all clicks into place. But I mean, I've always just loved fantasy, and I love these larger than life characters, so that was always a very exciting aspect to me, I think, from the very beginning. So that was so much fun.
Yeah, and just on another note, actually, talking of larger than life characters, I'm not sure if you're aware, but DC and James Gunn, I think, are looking for a new Supergirl movie that's coming out a few years from now. You're a very popular name I see coming up a lot on our
Really?
website. Yeah.
That's
So how do you
fun.
feel about it?
Okay,
Yeah.
that would be awesome. You know, I loved, I love larger than life concepts and characters, and like, I don't know, maybe I'll call my agent.
Oh, fingers crossed on that one. And of course, another big franchise you've been part of, Jumanji. Do you think you might come back to finish that trilogy off? And it's been a while since we've heard anything with the pandemic and things. Seems to have pushed that back. But
I mean, I look, Jumanji changed my life. I love all of those people so, so, so much. They're so dear to me. I would love nothing more than to go back and do another one. And I know it's so funny, because I feel like there's been rumors about it for like
yeah,
3 years now. And I think the Rock is just like the most busy man in the world. But I don't know. I just think two is a weird number to end on. I feel like you need one more. And also we left it on such a big cliffhanger that I don't know. I'm still waiting for that phone call one day. If they call me, I'll be very happy to jump in. But I'm like, we're getting old. I'm like, we can't wait that much longer. But I don't know. We'll see. I would love to work with those guys again. And like Jack, I miss Jack as Bethany. He was the best.
Oh, fantastic. And just one final question for you, Madison. I feel like this Knights of the Zodiac, it's got real franchise potential, whether it be spin-off, sequels, it's just one of those properties, I think, that could go in so many directions. But for you, would you like to come back as Sienna in a possible sequel and continue to explore this character? And do you have any ideas of where you'd maybe like to take her if that happened?
Oh, do I have ideas? Yes. Of course I'd love to come back. I think they're calling it's the beginning, right? It's just an introduction of these characters. And if you are familiar with the manga or the anime, like there's a whole lot of source material. There's a whole lot of new knights to be introduced. So like personally, this is not a formal pitch, but I would love to see, trials held. It's a great opportunity to bring in some like fresh new actors to play some of these knights within some really great characters that we're missing out on. So there's a lot of fun ways you could go with that. But that's what I would like to see. I think it'd be fun.
Absolutely. Oh, well, Madison, thank you so much for your time. I had a great time with the movie. I thought you really stole the show in this one as well. Really fantastic performance.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Lovely speaking with you. Thank you again.
So have a good day.
You too.